Hey, Sammy-doo coming to you live from Precious World Mobile Studios, and I've got a golden nugget for you. Hey, so you're new in real estate investing, looking to still get your first or second deal, or just even getting some stability in your business. Maybe you've already done one or two deals, but you're just trying to get some stability in your business. Well, here's a golden nugget for you, and a lot of young folks are finally catching on to this. It's called generational leverage. Generational leverage. It's a learning technique, folks, and it's a technique that has never failed. A technique that has never failed. So, you want to hear a little bit more about what I'm talking about with generational leverage? Stay tuned. Sammy-doo, live from Precious World Studios, doing it again, dropping another golden nugget. All right, Sammy-doo back at you, dropping some more golden nuggets. And we're talking about generational leverage. But before I go there, I just want to remind you this is a coaching and mentoring channel for the real estate investor, especially if you're new. You're trying to get your first, second, or just trying to get some trending in your business, trying to get to that place of being comfortable in the business. This is what this channel is all about. And if you don't actually have a mentor, and you do need a mentor, which I strongly suggest, you definitely want to click the link in the description, the Real Estate Wholesale helpline, and get onto my calendar, and we can talk about some specific things in your business, and if you actually want to look at me as a mentor, what that would require as well. But back at generational leverage. First of all, let's just start by defining what is generation. What is generation? Well, generation. So in a secular league, generation is about a 30-year period, a 30-year era. Spiritually, in which is the way I operate, is really a 40-year period, a 40-year era. And we're literally talking years, and we're talking timelines. In fact, let me show you here, give you a little bit of a visual of what I'm talking about when I say timelines. All right. So here, and I'm going to stay again within the 40-year period. So let's just say this is a timeline. And let's just start with 1900, the year 1900. And 40 years will make this 1940. That's almost getting relevant to today, huh? So let's call another one to bring it current. definitely current. So this is basically representing three generations. Three generations, okay? Just in this particular example. Now, of course, we've been on this planet for much longer than three generations, and things has been happening in this world for much longer than three generations. But I just using this as an example and just to have a starting point to talk about how this is relevant to today. And we're in 2019, so age here. Um, back during this time, it was kind of the age of mechanics and things of that nature with vehicles and airplanes and things of that nature. Then we kind of got more into manufacturing type of age, and now this kind of age we're gotten crossing into more of an information age. Every era has its own significance, but there are some things that are always been consistent from generation to generation, and that is to the need to earn a living, right? The need to earn wealth or earn a living, of course, eat, the need for support of family and friends and things of that nature. Those things has always been consistent during the generations. And so each of these 40 years obviously indicate a era of time that individuals that existed during this time, which, let's face it, 40 years is kind of maybe half of a life, generally speaking. 40 years, maybe 50 at this point, is half a life. I know a lot of my audience are even younger than 40 years. I've got audience that's older, but I know in the demographics I have a lot of you that are actually younger than 40 years. So some of you are not even a generation, haven't even lived for a full generation yet. But in this comes with a lot of experience of trials and errors, and trials and errors and falls and pick back ups and bad decisions and good decisions and new things that's being tried, and all of this makes out to be an experience. And guess what? Do you know that real estate and that business has existed even prior to here? And when you think about names like Kennedy's and even Trump's, for instance, and Rockefellers, and a number of these names out there, they've been in the business. Their families have passed the business down, from generation to generation. And what this basically means is a number of you are actually trying to start a real estate business, trying to establish a real estate business, trying to get some seasonality in your real estate business, trying to keep and develop your real estate business, and you're going about it by using the information that is available by way of the internet, which it's some good stuff out there. I'm gonna tell you, it's not complete, but it's some good things out there. It's scattered, so you have to know how to package it all together to make it make sense for you. That's one thing. From generation to generation, you will hope that the next generation is better than the previous generation, and the next generation is better than the previous generation. And a lot of you folks that are less than 40 years old, you guys are setting up for the next generation that I haven't even drawn a line for. And what you would want to do is also learn what I'm telling you right now, is how you want to use generational leverage in order to establish your real estate business. And by that, real estate existed during this time frame, a 40-year time frame. It existed here, and it existed here. Were you part of these? Obviously not. But somebody was. Somebody that's probably a little older, generally speaking, someone that's 40 years and maybe a little older because of their experience and wisdom of having been operating in the world, might know a little something that had already happened that can help prevent you from either making a mistake or help elevate you to having success so much quicker. So a lot of experience in real estate have already occurred here. While you're busy buying courses, while you're busy watching all different types of YouTube channels, while you're busy feeling like you don't know enough, or while you're busy thinking you know enough and now you're taking a number of different risks and you're causing legal liabilities on yourself or your family, or maybe you haven't been busted yet and you think that's good, which is not, because oftentimes the first legal liability that you have with most small businesses is not just real estate, but if you have a liability, that usually that first one would take you out completely and then to make you worse than even before you got started. So you really don't want to take too many tough chances with putting yourself at risk. But here's the thing: if you don't have a mentor, right? This is what you're doing. You're watching YouTube channels. You're buying courses. You're buying books, and you're trying to figure this thing out on your own. But if you leverage someone that was in this, someone that has had the experience prior to you, if you leverage some help, that can help shorten your learning curve. It can help prevent you from losing a lot of money in the future, especially losing money on just buying more courses and more books and things of that nature. It can help keep you out of trouble that you may not know it could exist. But guess what? Folks in this generation, folks in this generation, folks in this generation would know. And if you were able to leverage someone in those generations, they would be able to help you. Now, I'm gonna tell you, it's very tough in the real estate business, because back in these generations, it was something, the real estate business was pretty much somewhat of an underground business, not illegal, but just something that was kind of kept private. Most folks that were doing real estate the right way and the real way were only doing it for their children and their children's children and keeping them. In fact, I can tell you, I was one to spend $30,000 initially, and then I actually bought the $20,000 upsell, so at least $50,000 just on the seminar and course alone. I was one to spend that myself, and not to mention books and things of that nature. But I've spent 50 grand on the course alone, and even having done that, realized that I didn't know enough of what I needed to know from a practicality standpoint, because what you learn in the classroom, what you learn at seminars, what you can learn on YouTube or whatever, is just not enough to get you practically astute. So I actually met some folks, and I met this one guy in particular. He was one of the first guys that I met. And I asked him, I said, hey man, I'm kind of new at this, right? Would you be willing to take me under your wing, show me the ropes, and maybe we can do some things together and all that. And this guy had a portfolio of, I think he said 80 homes, 83 single family homes, and he met me because of a deal that I had. I think it was my first contract, and he was expressing some sort of interest. But then once he identified me to be new, he kind of started shying away from it a little bit. But then, I started asking. I said, man, I'm in a small community out here. You want to, why don't you take me under your wing? Because this is something that he's training his kids to do. This is the trade secrets, the practicality of doing the real estate business. This was something that he was training his, I think it was a son and a daughter. He had 2 kids that he was training to do. Now, where did he kind of learn it from? Well, he had some folks, older folks in his family that showed him as well. And if I'm not mistaken, he actually did one of those courses too, but he also had some family that was part of that. So he leveraged generational experience. He used generational leverage to accelerate his learning in his real estate business. And this technique, folks, it is a learning technique. This is something that has really never failed when it comes to training and education in certain types of professions. Real estate definitely one. The most successful folks has always had a mentor, and it's generally someone that's been kind of somewhat close, or someone that took them under the ring, rich uncle, whatever, granddad, dad, whatever, that's taking them under their wing. Or, they, in this day and age, in this current cycle, because we are now in the information Les Brown, different coaches like that. Now, these are what you call life coaches. They're not necessarily real estate coaches, but they made a business out of coaching others to help them build their business, whether it be a life coach or business coach or things of that nature. You would want to do the same thing in your real estate business. This will shorten your learning curve. It will speed up getting results, especially if you've been struggling to get some. It will help mitigate you against major losses. I can tell you, my first purchase without a mentor, I made a purchase of some assets, and I spent another 50 grand on top of the 50 grand and plus that I did for education. I spent another 50 grand on top of that on buying assets. And let me tell you, that was without a mentor. It was the worst mistake I made. And the mistake was huge. Buying too high, buying in areas that were depreciating, buying the wrong type of assets. There was a lot that went along to it. Had I had a mentor to kind of get in my ear about what I was doing, obviously I wouldn't have done that. But at that time I didn't. Guess what? If I got into your ear and you were about to make a mistake like that, I can tell you what not to do. That was a $50,000 loss that I can help you not to make because I have the experience as a mentor and a coach. And so I wanted to kind of share that generational leverage is actually a learning technique that has been going on for many, many generations, for years, and it is not exclusive to any business, and definitely necessary in the real estate business. And you should consider that if you've been trying to do this thing on your own, that if you're still struggling, or more importantly, if you just never has had some type of headship, some type of coach, leader, mentor in the real estate business, you want to get one. I do offer services myself. Currently have a few spots open because I only handle like a handful at a time. And it kind of varies from month to month, depending on the cycle that I'm in with the students that I maintain, that I have, because that door is always evolving. Some are coming in, some are kind of evolving out, because it's my goal to help you. With my students, I try to help them get a deal in their first 30 to 60 days. For me, when I got into business several years ago, it took me 10 months to get my first deal. And that was only because I did leverage a partner and a mentor. For the first 10 months, I didn't do that. Once I did, then I was able to get a deal, because What's nice about a coach and a mentor is they can keep you focused, keep you on the right path, tell you where you should spend your money, where you shouldn't spend your money, and really help accelerate the process. There are a lot of things you won't know, like if you're using, what type of lead sources are you using, where you can be spending your money in a money pit and where you can get the best bang for your buck. The type of marketing strategies, where do you spend that kind of money? I mean, marketing costs a bit of money, and you want to know what's really working and then what's really current, and what type of marketing strategies are out there. Those are different things that a mentor can really help you. Yes, can you YouTube some of it? Yes, but it's all over the place and not packaged. What a mentor and coach can do is help you streamline all of that. And like I said, you get a good one, you should be able to get you a deal in 30 to 60 days in your market, all right, at some point. So this is just another golden nugget that I have thought about. I wanted to share a little bit of my experience of having, tried to approach someone to help, because I know that I needed the help, and what kind of response that I got. He wanted to keep it within the family, which is nothing unique to him. This has been going on long before social media came out, long before the internet. And now that the internet and social media is out, everybody's just hearing more about this stuff, but it doesn't really change the way the business works just because social media is out. Now, for those that are in the business, it does make a few little things a little easier, just as any other new tool or system would, easier than the old school days. But that's what the next generation is supposed to do, right? The next generation is supposed to be better than the previous generation. But it does not remove the fact that you want the generational experience to help shorten and speed up the new generation's experience, so the new generation can do some new things and make it even better thereafter. So this was the golden nugget, generational leverage, and I tried to give you a little bit of a visual illustration of the impact. And again, it's a technique that really has never failed. And if you like more golden nuggets, again, reach out in the description below and check out the Real Estate Wholesale helpline. Definitely you want to subscribe to this channel because this is all about the coaching and mentoring side of the business. I'm not necessarily teaching all of the so-called wholesaling business, because there's a bunch of other channels doing that, and there's enough information out there. I'm trying to help you from a grassroots standpoint get your deal, plain and simple. We just want to get your deal done, and what I do is giving you, I'm attacking you from the mindset, motivation set, passions mindset, behavioral type mindset, to make sure you can get your deal done, because that's exactly what you're going to need to make some things happen. So if you like that, man, make some comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you don't like it, I'd like to hear that as well. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Just let me know how you feel about it. And subscribe to the channel and follow me. This is a channel we're going to give you golden nuggets in the industry. And I am Sammy-doo. Until next time, I see you at the top, because the bottom sure is crowded.
Hey, Sammy-doo, the Duru, back at you. Hey, are you smelling what I'm cooking? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? You like these golden nuggets that we are dropping at you? Well, if you do, please like the video that you just seen. Also, subscribe to this platform. You can do that by hitting the red subscribe now button somewhere here or there. Look for it, hit the subscribe button. That would encourage me to continue to put out more content like this, and check out my library of other videos as well. Also, don't forget, if you need to set your appointment, the link is in the description, Real Estate Wholesale Helpline. And until then, I will see you at the top, because the bottom sure is crowded. God bless. Sammy-doo, out.